Question: what are the factors preventing and/or delaying the humans of this planet from having first public extraterrestrial contact, and other things such as presentations of undeniable proof of what truly is happening on this matrix, something to truly wake the whole population up?
This is Tunia speaking. I greet you in love and unity. Thank you for your question. I will share my perspectives and make no claim that my perspective is the only truth out there. I am not perfect, and neither is the channeler. If your own soul or higher self disagrees with anything I say, please listen to it and not me. No one can give you better information than your own soul can. From my perspective, the primary reason why we haven't openly landed on Earth yet is because most Earthlings want comfort and want things to stay the same. Most Earthlings are not consenting to massive change, such as extraterrestrials landing. Of course, the dark forces don't care about your free will, but we do. Also, while I deeply empathize with the plight of Earthlings, and I don't know if I personally would have set things up this way if I had the choice, the current situation is facilitating immense soul growth in nearly all Earthlings. Fundamentally, your souls and God genuinely cares more about soul growth than about happiness or the pleasure of your existence. Besides, from their point of view, souls voluntarily signed up for lives on Earth. Also, souls have the option to arrange their death, and thus souls can exit whenever the soul wants. Even a partial life on Earth can give great soul growth. I understand that this doesn't make your pain or loneliness any less, and I do deeply empathize. I wish we could be helping all of you directly, right now. But to continue to defend a position I'm sort of uncomfortable with, suppose you had complete control over all benevolent ETs surrounding your planet. But not about all Earthling forces that fight against the organized group of bad guys who try to control the world from behind the scenes. After all, this is part of the delay. Earthlings who fight against this group of bad guys aren't always good-hearted or acting in ways that are optimal for a quick planetary ascension. Just because they oppose the bad guys, doesn't mean that they're selfless spiritual masters. What would you do with this command? Would you just have us take over the media, announce our presence to the world, and then broadcast truth on a continual loop on all on-stream channels? Well, first of all, that would violate Earthlings' free will. Second, a significant part of your population would not yet be able to psychologically handle that. Third, imposing any kind of structure or worldview on another society or power over another society is something that sounds appealing, but actually can backfire tremendously. Trust us, we speak from experience. We're not talking about theoretical spiritual principles here, we're talking about bloody, civil, wars and regressions of civilization and consciousness. You all want a better world. What is the critical ingredient that's needed for the better world that you want to live in? A higher consciousness of people on Earth. How do you increase the consciousness of the people on Earth? Well, I can't think of anything more effective than the current situation. If your world was somehow fixed overnight, then the catalyst towards soul growth would also be removed. Another question is, do you want an amazing society for just lightworkers today and screw other Earthlings, or do you want an amazing society for many Earthlings at some point in the future? Well, most of you have souls that prefer the latter. This is a very brave and heroic choice. Yet it does mean that you need to give the sleepers time to wake up. There's a significant group who will wake up in the future or is waking up right now, but this process takes time. If you want an amazing society for many Earthlings, then the majority of Earthlings needs a consciousness upgrade, because you can't build an amazing 5D civilization out of the current crop of Earthlings, unless you exclude the vast majority of them. And the current situation is exactly the consciousness upgrade that Earthlings need. By the way, as awesome as you already are, there is one major consciousness upgrade that many light workers could still benefit from. Many light workers think that there's some savior out there who needs to get off his butt and save them. Actually, light workers aren't the victims who are there to be saved by the cavalry. Light workers are the cavalry. You're not the ones who need liberating, you are the liberators. In fact, lots of you have spent lives as Pleiadians and now you've incarnated on Earth. You're our special forces, our boots on the ground. I am not saying this is easy. If I was born on your planet in the normal Earthling way, I would do worse than your average light worker. You are the strongest of the strong. Yet it is important for you to take back your power. This is why Hakann's central message is one of empowerment. No one is asking you to save Earth single-handedly. There are many millions of lightworkers, so all you need to do is your part. You don't need to do everything. Still, the more you step into your power, the sooner Earthlings will be able to live blissful lives. Plus, the more you step into your power, the more compatible you become with the energy of benevolent ETs. Yes, I do acknowledge that the lightworkers are sort of shackled to the willfully blind right now. From a higher perspective, all humans are one. From a high perspective, you are gaining immense soul growth this way, but from a more practical perspective, this is grossly unfair. I empathize and do acknowledge that. You're doing more work and yet your only reward is loneliness and getting called crazy for it. My heart does go out to each and every one of you. Fortunately, overall Earthlings are doing unbelievably well. I have high hopes for the future. It's just going to take more time. Average Earthlings can evolve only so quickly. Lightworkers are exceptional. Not everyone can grow as fast as you do. You are not the norm. The current situation is already pushing against the limits of how quickly average Earthlings can grow. And if you want to build a blissful love-based society for not just lightworkers but also lots of other Earthlings, then you need to give average Earthlings some more time to evolve. Because right now the average Earthling is not yet compatible with a blissful 5D society. To give an idea, I am a human from the Pleiades star cluster and we're often called Pleiadians. The average Earthling is growing as much every single week as your average Pleiadian grows in a year, if you had him or her live on an average Pleiadian planet. You're already growing at an unbelievable pace, including in invisible ways such as vibrationally and ability to deal with higher energies. To be clear, we are not saying that 100% of Earthlings need to wake up. That is neither going to happen, nor required. Also, the amount of correct rational knowledge that people have is actually not one of the most important factors in this process. The most important things is your level of consciousness, your vibration. That is growing nicely in over 99% of humans, including via rising background energies. For most people in this situation specifically, they first need a higher level of consciousness, and only then will they need and be able to absorb rational knowledge. This is also why I am primarily focused on spreading love and Hakann is primarily focused on empowering people. Those things are more crucial to Earthlings right now than intel or rational knowledge, from our perspectives. The more you can get out of your mind and into your heart, the more you are able to help this process along. Intel usually just puts your head in charge. Your intellect is an amazing servant but a terrible master. Serving it by seeking out information is generally not the most important thing you could do right now. From our perspective, you're free to disagree, of course. You are not powerless in this situation. There are lots of things that either lightworkers or counterforces, people who oppose the bad guys, could do to speed up the situation. For example, work on yourself, help the people around you, etc. That said, I do agree that this situation is absolutely merciless and completely unfair towards lightworkers. You are working very hard and are in a sense the best of humanity, yet you're getting called crazy and gaslit from all sides. It hurts my heart to see that you are in this situation. I do wish that I could take your hand, invite you into a big hug, take you towards our healers and then show you all the rest and entertainment facilities we have. I imagine you must be exhausted. That said, you are also incredibly strong. From my perspective, you're not given challenges that you cannot either overcome or learn from. Yes, it's incredibly harsh and difficult, I know. But you are also incredibly strong. It is really hard to predict the future because the situation is so chaotic and Earthlings have a free will. If I had to guess, most lightworkers will very likely be able to physically meet ETs within 1 month to 20 years. Yes, I know that's a very wide range. We very much hope that it's on the shorter end of that range. But to put it in another way, there will come a time when most lightworkers are safe, healed, rested, freely able to interact with us and free from the shackles of your current society. We too are very much looking forward to that day. I love you very much. Tunia.